Well, howdy, partner. This has Never Seen It. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
Yeehaw!
Oh, fuck. Betsy, today we are going to start a brand new series.
We are?
It is Western Wednesday here on Never Seen It.
That's right,
Starting
it is.
today for the next 4 Wednesdays, we're going to watch a fucking Western.
We have not really explored this genre very much on this podcast.
We haven't explored it at all on this podcast.
We have, but in the sense of like the Oscar contenders, which tend to be more like artistic. They're not like Westerns.
Power of the Dog, I don't consider to be a Western. In a classical sense, it is not a Western.
No, it is a modern take on a Western. We're watching Westerns.
This is Western-ass Westerns. Today, however, we are watching a very classic Western called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Which is something we have brought up a few times on this podcast, but strangely, neither of us has ever watched it.
And really the reason is because I only know one thing about the movie, and it's the ending.
Right. So we won't spoil it in this intro.
We're not going to talk about that. We're here to witness the entire thing. Mm-hmm. And Betsy, this movie was made by a guy named John Ford.
Prolific Western director.
Dude he directed over like 150 movies.
Yeah.
Prolific doesn't even begin to describe him.
When you are talking about Westerns from like the 1930s to 1970, so about 40 years, he is the number one name.
And that's about all they made back then.
Yeah.
They only made Westerns because that's what people wanted to see.
You could crank them out too.
Yeah. Westerns back then are what Marvel movies are today.
There you go. Controversial take from Trent.
And there's so much to choose from too. But anyway, so the stuff I know about John Ford is so many modern other prolific directors look to John Ford for their inspirations.
Absolutely.
And all artists take inspiration from other artists. They
steal, Trent.
Yes.
Just say it. Call it what it is. They steal lovingly, but they steal nonetheless.
Of course. Anyway, so you talk to Spielberg, you talk to Scorsese, they will tell you that they got their inspiration from watching John Ford movies.
Sure. That's who they grew up watching, because like you said, they were everywhere. Mm-hmm. Every 10 minutes, the man put out a new movie.
Now, as far as like history with Westerns in general, we're only going to do this one time, so let's just get it all out now. What is your history with Westerns in general? Because we're not going to be able to talk much about this movie at all.
So it's kind of a mixed bag. I have seen Westerns, but this is going to be, and this may be a shock, I have never watched a John Wayne movie.
Yeah. And
beginning to end, I have never, ever in my life seen a John Wayne movie, which is a weird thing because you want to talk about Westerns and prolific. That man has 200 plus credits to his name, and almost every one of them is a Western.
Pretty much.
And the fact that I have, as a movie lover, never watched a single one.
The Duke.
The Duke from Iowa. Remember,
Iowa.
We were on a little road trip driving through Iowa, and we were a stone's throw from John Wayne's birthplace.
Right.
We didn't go, alas. I feel like we probably should someday go to that stupid tourist trap.
Maybe.
But yeah, so John Wayne in particular, I've never seen a single one of his. And then I've just sort of seen a hodgepodge of in between, you know, like the Dances with Wolves type of thing. I've seen Tombstone once.
Yeah.
I've watched
I mean, Maverick really isn't
like
Western.
The kind of fringe Westerns.
Yeah, the adjacent Westerns where they're kind of borrowing from that genre.
From John Ford.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much with you. I haven't seen too many Westerns, but as far as John Wayne in particular, I credit my dad for being the big Western guy. My dad is in his 70s. He was born in 1946. Mm-hmm. So
this is
Westerns were made for my dad's generation.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that has read like everything Louis L'Amour has ever written.
Exactly. So he has the entire Louis L'Amour collection. He has probably seen 100 plus John Wayne movies. He could probably quote them to you.
He loves Yellowstone, the modern Western.
The new Western show. He loves Yellowstone. Yeah, but suffice it to say, my dad is the influence on me as far as Westerns are concerned. But I haven't actually sat down to watch a Western from beginning to end, actually putting a critical eye on it.
No, absolutely
like we do
not.
with the other movies that we do on this podcast. So this is going to be a first for me. I don't really know why we chose Liberty Valance to be our first one, other than the fact that I've heard the name a lot, and we have a list of other Westerns that we're going to be doing here. We're going to front load this podcast, this series, with some heavy hitters, at least of the ones you've actually heard about.
Well, yeah, it would be absolute sacrilege if John Wayne was not included.
Sure.
And there's a short list of, like, his best, like, the best of the best.
Yeah.
And this is certainly in, like, top 5 territory.
Yeah, we're only going to do one John Wayne, and just to show our hand, we're only going to do one Clint Eastwood movie.
Right, so when you think Western, those
Yeah.
are the two that tend to come to mind.
Absolutely.
But I know that also Jimmy Stewart is in this movie, and
Yeah.
I love me some Jimmy Stewart.
And this is at the more tail end of his career.
Oh, sure. I mean, he'd been making movies for 30 years at this point.
Yeah, and this is 1962,
Yep.
I believe, is when this one came out. So yeah, he was very much at the end of his the tail end of his career anyway.
Right. He didn't have to work anymore. He worked
Yeah.
through the 60s, but then after that, it gets pretty sporadic when Jimmy Stewart would show up in a movie.
Yeah. He's more known for his younger years.
Yeah. So as far as like the actual movie goes, I'm gonna be honest, don't really know. Don't really
Yeah.
know the story base except on what you've told me, which again,
Yeah.
we won't really go too much into it, but it's sort of, we're hearing somebody tell a story and we're seeing it after the fact, is my understanding of the structure of this movie.
Yeah, my understanding here is that one of these actors is famous for being known to have shot a man named Liberty Valance.
Yep, a
And
famous outlaw.
he is running for office.
He's okay.
Yeah.
That would be a reason, because you have a celebrity. That's who celebrities were in those days. Anything to make you a little bit notorious.
Yeah.
And my assumption is Liberty Valance is a real bad guy.
Yeah.
So killing him is a real big deal.
So, we will get into it here. Let's go watch The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. We'll be right back. And we are back. Betsy, I can't help but feel that I made a mistake at the very beginning of this episode.
How so?
I said howdy. What I really should have said was, hey, Pilgrim.
Yeah, you could have said that. That's a thing you could have said.
I could have said that. Anyway, Betsy, we watched The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
We did.
What'd you think of that?
I liked this one. I think it's a little bit of a misleading description to call this a John Wayne movie, because this is more a James Stewart movie.
It is.
And that's partly because the entire plot hinges around the fact that you're not supposed to know who the John Wayne character is. And
Or at
he's
least
not,
what he did.
Right. He's not supposed to be the main focus
Yeah.
because we're trying to build up this podunk lawyer from back east who's, fresh off the train, who doesn't
Yeah.
know how things are done in the West.
The West. Yeah, and John Wayne comes in and is going to teach him something about the West, and he's going to turn into this outlaw and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
That's not what happens.
He says, you're not going to make it here without a gun, because
Yeah.
this is a different kind of place.
Right.
And that's also, like, just to get to the point, why he is calling him Pilgrim, because it's like a guy fresh off the boat.
Yeah.
He's literally
but-
only calls James Stewart Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Now, you would get good and drunk if you tried to drink every time he says the word Pilgrim. It was to the point it was distracting, and I believe my count was 22.
Yeah.
So there was a point of it. But yeah, he is the side character. John Wayne is the supporting actor of this movie.
But he's going to get top billing in this movie because
it's
John
John
Wayne is
Wayne.
John Wayne, and it's a
Yes.
Western, so John Wayne gets top billing.
Absolutely. But yeah, I liked this one. It's like just enough funny at moments. It's just enough tense. It's realistic to the time and the place. Like, I believed this is the Old West.
Yeah.
I think the character development was good. You've got this dichotomy of, tall, clean cut, yuppie from the East.
He shows up and he's trying to drag all of the people around him into the modern age.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah, and there's so many times he's correcting people's grammar in this movie. Isn't.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you. We had a conversation before we started this thing, and we were talking about there's not a lot of like funny westerns that we could really think of. The funny ones that we could think of were like the tangentially related, the ones we talked about in the intro.
Right, where is it like,
Maverick.
would we call that a western, or is it just happen to take place in the Old West?
Right, they're like borrowing things from the western genre to call themselves a western, but it's not. This movie is really funny. Like, I laughed way more than what I thought.
What we expected, yes. And most of it is because there's a lot of drunks.
Right.
So it's kind of easy humor.
But it's got good dialogue, too, and it's got good timing.
Yeah.
The comedic timing is really, really good.
And it's just chock full of character actors. Like, that is what these guys were paid to do. And I bet if you go through the ranks here, almost everybody credited in this movie made minimum 20 westerns.
Sure.
Lee Marvin, I did not know Lee Marvin was in this. He is Liberty Valance.
Yeah.
So I was talking about it after, when we were having our discussion about what westerns do we want to watch.
Yeah.
One that I've seen many times and would like you to eventually watch is Cat Ballou. Lee Marvin, I know because he's in Cat Ballou. He won an Academy Award for his performance in this movie.
All right.
So he's basically doing this, but in a comedic setting. And it's just fucking brilliant.
He won for Cat Ballou, or he won for this?
He won for Cat Ballou.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's that thing where to see him in this, I get it. He's a guy who's known for westerns.
Yeah.
So when he showed up in Cat Ballou, no one was surprised. Here's Lee Marvin. He's in a western. But he won an Academy Award because he was playing against the type, so to speak.
he was playing it up.
He was playing it up and being a hyper-real caricature of all these guys he has played previously.
Yeah.
Like, there are streaks of his character for Cat Ballou in Liberty Valance.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad guy. He's a drunk.
I liken that to Robert De Niro in Analyze This, where he's like the head of a gangster squad, whatever.
Mob.
He's like the mob boss of this thing, but it's a comedic role.
Yeah.
He's funny in that.
I love when you take guys who are known for dramas and put them in comedies because people don't expect it. And when it works, like sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes, let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
It's an utter and critical failure. But other times it really works because they're in on the joke. And in Cat Ballou, Lee Marvin is in on the joke because he's done movies like this where he knows exactly how to play this character but turn it on its head.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to watch that one eventually, and we will get to it. And, John Wayne just shows up and plays the same character in every goddamn movie he's been in.
He's not only does he play the same character, he has the same kind of cadence, he has, like, the same
dialogue,
kind of garb. Like, the stuff he's wearing is the same.
That fucking hat.
Yeah.
He wears that cowboy hat in everything. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know.
If you were to summon an image of John Wayne,
he's wearing the hat and he's wearing that outfit.
The handkerchief
the
around
whole
his
thing.
neck.
Yeah, the bandolier around him, the gun holster, the jeans, his boots, all of that is just what John Wayne looks like.
Yep. The shirt with the button.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a collared shirt. I don't know what you call that kind of shirt. It's like a flap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I can't really picture that man in modern attire.
No.
Like, can you imagine John Wayne, like, on the beach?
Or, like, wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, just, like, flip-flops and swim trunks. No, he was born in the wrong era. He was, and it makes sense that he would have been from a place like Iowa. For when he was born, Iowa would have been much more Western.
Especially rural Iowa.
Yeah, because he's from bumblefuck nowhere, Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
For where we were, that's the middle of nowhere.
Totally.
I don't think he lived there very long, but he was born in Iowa.
Well, and raised by people who were from there, I'm sure.
I'm sure. And then he was a California boy. But again, he doesn't strike me as the California boy type.
No, it probably didn't fit in very well. He was born in 1907.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
1907 Iowa. That's basically
That's
when the
pretty rough.
beginning of this movie is.
Yeah.
Is like early 1900s, because
Yes.
we start the movie in, let's call it present day, 1900s, I was guessing.
Yeah, it was probably within the first 20 years of the 1900s.
Yep. And then there's the rest of the movie takes place in a flashback. James Stewart is telling a story,
Mm-hmm.
and it's from before there was a state. And we were trying to figure out where this was, and we kind of
Yeah.
figured out it's Colorado.
Yeah, they don't actually say the word Colorado at any time in this movie.
No.
But based on the places that they're talking about in the movie, they name a river, and I looked up where this river is. It is in the southeastern corner of Colorado.
Yep, and it's,
right near the New Mexico border.
and we know there is a Hispanic population
Yeah.
here. We know there is desert here.
Yeah.
Nothing really grows.
Based on that geography, that makes a lot of sense. Also makes a lot of sense that you would have ranchers around here because nothing grows.
Yeah, and they can have free reign
Mm-hmm.
of all of this property.
And because you're right near where a border would eventually be, you would have ranchers, having a hard time giving up their land to
At
the
odds.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
to become a state and actually have a line drawn where your quote unquote property is.
Because nobody gave a shit when
Right.
it wasn't a state.
Well,
it's just a territory.
And especially if you are not actually farming that land. Because farming, you actually have plot lines.
Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just, here's some hills, and go ahead and run your horses around.
You got there first,
cows
you
and
got
whatever.
to stake your claim. Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about the actual plot of this movie. So the movie, like I said, starts, and it's James Stewart's character, Ransom Stoddard. That's
a hell of a name.
That's a hell of a name. His first name is Ransom, and they didn't say
Rance.
that until like 20 minutes into the movie. But I was just like, well, that's a name.
I mean, Ransom is not an uncommon. Like I've heard the name before.
I've never met somebody named Ransom.
never met somebody named Ransom, but I've heard it in movies.
Yeah. And he shows up in this little town that he used to live in when he was a young man. He's now
Yeah.
an old man.
Yeah.
And they address him as senator. So he's come back to this town.
Yeah, and like I said, he was a politician. Apparently, he's not actually running for anything. He's been elected for decades.
Yep. And they get off the train, and it's this big surprise to the whole town because there's like a little newspaper man trying to
Right.
find something to write
He
about.
just shows up with his wife.
Yep. And they don't know why they're there. Nobody knows they're coming. And he says, well, we're here for a funeral. And the editor refuses to believe that. He's like, so you came all the way here
Right.
to the middle of nowhere
To
for
go
a
to a-
funeral of somebody nobody knows about.
Right. Of for a dead guy that nobody knows the name of.
Like, he gave him the name, and he was like, who the hell is this guy?
Right. And like, well, it wasn't in the obituary, so what the hell?
Yeah, and so, of course, he, as the newspaper man, says, you are an important political figure.
And
the
I deserve
the story.
Yeah.
I refuse to accept that you are here for this guy's funeral.
There's got to be a story.
There's
here.
got to be what's the deal? Because
Yeah.
this guy has no family, no friends, nobody knows who he is. He's buried in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Like, they say, oh, he's gonna, like, what did they
The
say?
county has to pay
county's
for the
paying.
burial. Yeah, he's not making a dime on it.
He's a broke ass. Like, he died a pauper, basically.
Yeah.
And they make some comment, like the guy running the funeral says, oh, I would have called people and made sure it was this big event if I had known
Sure.
you were coming. But
Right.
that isn't the point.
No.
They want it to be a private event. And it's just him and his wife and the old marshal. And they're there for a funeral.
Yeah.
And so then the newspaper man finally gets it out of him, and he tells him this story, and that's where we
Yeah, we
see the rest
we
of the movie.
transition to him narrating what he's gone through. He's going west. He had just gotten out of law school. He wanted to head west because that's the thing back in the
They
1800s.
reference the poem a few times.
Yeah.
You know this poem?
Yeah.
Yeah, go west and what is it? Be prosperous. I don't know what
Whatever.
it is. It's a famous poem where it's called Go West. Like, encouraging people to move and populate that part of the country.
Yeah.
Because everybody in that time frame lived out east. They just
Right.
did.
Or they were already all the way west.
Or they went all the way to California. It was the middle that needed some help.
The middle, it still needs help.
Still needs help. That's not a coincidence, Trent.
Yes.
That's not a coincidence.
Yes.
But yeah, this was one little element I had a little bit of a problem with, because James Stewart at this point in his career is like 50 years old. Why would this quote unquote young man who just got out of law school?
Right. He would be like 20, 22.
I almost wish he was played by someone else when he was younger.
Yeah. That's harder to do back then, I think. I don't know. But you know what? Jimmy Stewart has always been known as being a younger person. He always plays that kind of a thing. So they have to age him up for the beginning and the end of the movie to show that he's got some years on him.
Right. He's got a youthful face, but he's not a spring chicken.
Yeah, and I didn't have a problem with it, but I don't know much about Jimmy Stewart as it is.
I think he was great in the role.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish they hadn't said he was fresh out of law school,
right.
because my brain immediately assumes him to be much younger.
Yeah.
In the 1800s, fresh out of law school would have been like 23.
Yeah.
Maybe younger. And this man is clearly not 23 years old.
Right.
So it's just like one of those, like, could we just have edited that line just a little bit? Like, I had a practice, but I wasn't doing it, and I decided to settle the West and try to get going as a lawyer. Or, yeah, they don't really give you the reasons.
He's clearly a single man.
Yeah.
He's going out there by himself.
He's going by himself, and the first day he's out there, his stagecoach gets robbed.
Yeah, by Liberty Valance and his
Liberty
crew.
Bibbity.
Liberty Bibbity. Oh, Betsy and I always, whenever the Liberty Mutual commercials come on when we're watching something on TV, the rare time we actually watch TV.
We almost always see that commercial.
Well, it's that commercial of the young actor trying to do it, and he says, Liberty Bibbity.
Yeah, for some reason that just tickles us. I don't know. Sidetrack.
Anyway, so yeah, the stagecoach gets robbed by Liberty Valance and his crew.
We find out that everybody in this town knows exactly. It's so stupid. He robs the stagecoach, and him and his goons are all wearing bandanas around their faces.
Yeah.
But he takes it off, and he tells him who he is, and everybody in this community knows exactly who Liberty Valance is, and that he's a bad guy.
He's a nuisance.
And nobody will do anything about it. So that's kind of the crux of this whole thing, is he's a lawman, and this is some bullshit. This is his introduction to the town, and he says, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to stand up to him. I'm going to use the law, and I'm going to put him behind bars.
Right.
And everybody in the community scoffs at him because they're like, no, you need a gun. Because that's the only thing he responds to.
Right, and like I said before, he is this character who is going to try to drag this town, drag these people into the modern age, kicking and screaming if he needs to.
Yep.
Because this is the only thing he knows. He doesn't know the West. He doesn't know that if you have a dispute with someone and he's causing you issues, you got to challenge him to a duel.
Basically.
That's basically how you resolve your disputes with people.
Because there is no law here. Like, their marshal is a joke.
Yeah.
He is a drunk who keeps saying, oh, well, I'm the marshal. You should give me a free meal. And they have this running tally of how many times they've given him free food.
Right. And he says that, oh, yeah, down at the jail, there's one cell. The lock is broken, and that's where he sleeps.
Yeah. So they really do a good job setting up how this is the Wild West.
Yeah. This is an inept government, if there's any government whatsoever at all.
No, he's the guy.
Yeah.
They have no town hall. They have their elections in the saloon.
Right.
Like, all the dudes shut down the bar and hang out there.
Bar's closed.
And it's really... these were the elements I really liked about this, because they demonstrate like just how fast and loose everything was at this time in America.
Yeah. And really all they need is one guy to come in and read whatever the law is about these territories and come in there and
enforce it.
Tell them what's what.
Yeah, just tell them, we have laws. They're written. You just have to know about them.
Yeah.
They need one sensible, educated person to give a shit.
Yeah.
And so, in this is again kind of that odd couple trope where you've got the uptight East Coast guy who doesn't know how things are run in the West. And then you've got the down and dirty cowboy. Like, they use this trope a lot in Westerns, but they're kind of the same guy. They just have their way of doing things that is completely different, you know? Jimmy Stewart's his character's a good man.
Yes.
He's a good man who wants to follow the rules.
He doesn't want
a gun.
He doesn't want to carry a gun. He doesn't want to solve things with that.
No, he's like teaching the community about how the government works and how to read and write.
And he still has faith in whatever like the law is.
Yeah.
Like he gets this idea to look up in his law books. Okay, here's how it actually should function in unincorporated territory.
Yeah, who's got the jurisdiction?
The marshal has jurisdiction because of XYZ, and this is the thing that you can reference when you arrest him. Mm-hmm. But the marshal is inept. He's a coward. He doesn't want to deal with things. He just wants to be the marshal, which is nothing.
All right, and because we're already on the topic of the marshal,
all right,
we need to bring this up. So you and I had the same thought. We're sitting here watching this movie, and we know the marshal. We know that voice.
His voice. We don't see it. We don't know his face.
No, but we're like, why is that voice familiar?
That voice is so fucking familiar.
He is fucking Friar Tuck from the 1970s version of the Disney cartoon Robin Hood.
Yeah.
He's the friar. It's that squeaky kind of, I don't know, kind of, that voice is so burned into my brain that I knew it. And I was like, I think this guy's in Robin Hood. And I had to look it up.
I didn't get that. So I knew I recognized his voice, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah.
But like we were almost done with the movie and I looked it up on IMDb and Betsy had already looked it up before me.
I was waiting because that's the thing. If I find some little nugget before you do and you don't look it up, it makes for great content if I can drop that on you. But you beat me to it.
But anyway, for our listeners, that's a little nugget.
There you go. But yeah, that's where we are. And then John, like when the stagecoach gets robbed, they drag him out because he tries to defend a woman.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do you not have a heart? She's this little widow woman. Get your hands off her kind of a thing.
Right.
And they whip him. This happens a few times. So Liberty Valance is shown carrying this very specific weapon of choice. Mm-hmm. And it is a like leather whip with silver cuffs on it.
Yeah.
And they show him in the act of whipping, but they don't show him actually whipping anybody.
Yeah.
And they do that twice in this movie. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those weird little reminders that, oh, this is the 1960s. We can't go that far in the movie.
No.
We're going to give you everything you need to know that what is happening here is Ransom is being whipped.
Yeah.
But we're not going to show it to you. So he's down on the ground and you just see waist up.
Yep.
Liberty Valance hitting something.
And then you see the aftermath, and that's about it.
And then you see the aftermath. And of course, Tom is John Wayne's character, finds this guy out in the woods and rescues him and brings him back to the town. Yeah. And quickly discovers, well, this guy's a schmuck. I don't agree with anything you stand for.
Right.
And, we get to meet Hallie, who ends up being...
And we are introduced to Hallie in the beginning of the movie.
She's his wife.
She's his wife. So we know that these two end up together.
Where this is going.
Yeah.
Yep. But of course, Tom is very much flirting with Hallie over and over again. Right. So it's like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Right.
And he just tells him flat out, you are never going to put Liberty Valance behind bars. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. You are too idealistic. Give it up.
And also, I wanted to point out here, like we said before, this is not really a John Wayne movie. We are not introduced to John Wayne on screen until about 18 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
We're like 10% in, and there hasn't been a John Wayne sighting yet. He's the top billing of the movie. So that right there should tell you all you need to know. This is a Jimmy Stewart joint. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have he's like basically brought into what you call a boarding house. It's really a restaurant.
It's a restaurant. I guess it's just like the back room. He's in the kitchen.
Yeah. And the restaurant is owned by a couple of Swedish immigrants named Pete and the wife I didn't get the name of.
I didn't catch her name either.
But then Hallie is the hostess who
waitress,
works there.
Whatever we want to call it. She's taking the orders.
Yeah, she works there and she's there by herself. And the other two make the food in the back.
And there's a lot of drunks who come in the middle of the night looking
yeah.
for giant steaks.
Oh, man.
These are obscenely big steaks they're eating in this movie.
I got hungry looking at this.
Yeah,
it looked good.
Big potatoes and burned beans.
Beans.
Why would they burn the beans?
I mean, they don't really have like, hey, medium rare or medium well or well done or anything like that. Burn it.
Yeah, they're going to cook the meat, and then we're just going to put all the beans on top because that's how
Sure.
we're going to eat steak.
Right.
They didn't have A1 in those days.
A1's gross. I don't like A1.
No, it's not necessary if the steak is well done.
You just need to get
Not
a better...
well done. Don't cook it
Oh,
well
God,
done.
no.
Well made. Excuse me.
All right. So, yeah, Jimmy Stewart is like indignant about the suggestion that he should go out and shoot him. It's like,
Yeah.
how dare you tell me that? I am an educated man, and I'm going to get away with, using my words and using the law. Because that's how I'm taught as a lawyer
And I'm
of how things go.
civilized. This
Yes.
is civilization.
Yes.
And this is how it works.
Right. And again, that's a trope of Western movies like this. They are, stranger in a strange land coming in to introduce his learnedness to the savages.
Oh, yeah. And there was one line of dialogue I wrote here. So when Tom finds him in the woods, the line he says to Hallie is, he's like to die if he don't get some caring for.
Yep. That's like 15 prepositions.
The grammar nerd in me was cringing. I'm just like, stop it, make it go away. So bless Jimmy Stewart, because he was doing exactly what I was thinking. I ain't got no he's gonna learn me, teach you.
Yeah, and usually things like that are just they're thrown in there because you're meant to think that, oh, these people are not all that educated. It's never pointed out.
No.
In this movie, it is.
No, this one, they're doing it on purpose because he quickly finds out, like, Hallie doesn't know how to read.
Right.
She cannot read and write. She never got the education.
Yeah.
And he offers to teach her.
And this is the beginning of the relationship here.
Yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, I'll teach you to read. It's no problem. It doesn't matter that you're older.
No, if you want to learn and you have the desire to learn, you can learn.
And she also, like, throws it back in his face. Well, you know how to read and write, and look where you're at now.
Yeah, washing dishes for me.
And
because he's got no money.
It is a thing of shame for a lot of people who are illiterate, even today.
And in this era in particular, you would be in the majority for people who do not know how to read.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
For where it is and
especially
when it
as
is.
a woman.
Especially
you do not
as a
get
woman.
the education as a woman, and even dudes, if they don't actually, like in this part of the country here, this is unincorporated territory. There's no government set up to collect taxes and use these taxes to educate the people.
To create a school, let alone
Correct.
anything else.
To pay for a school, to pay for a teacher, and to get people on a schedule.
Oh yeah, and somebody literally says, "Oh well, she may not know how to read, but she'll make a great wife."
Yeah.
Because that was the goal.
Yeah.
You have no other function, ladies.
Yeah.
Get married and make babies.
Pretty much.
Congratulations. And of course, the whole subplot here is that Tom's in love with this girl and she's
Right.
my girl, and he keeps saying, oh, she's my desert rose and I love her, but he doesn't do anything about it. He takes his sweet time, and he even says, don't rush me.
Right, and later on in the movie, he'll actually confront Ransom about Hallie, and he brings him to his place where we're shown his place early on in the movie, and we don't know what that is.
It's all burnt down.
It's all kind of burned down. It's all fucked up.
And the cactuses have taken over.
Correct.
Symbolically, we find out later.
Indeed. So he's taking him to his place and basically says, Hallie's my girl. I'm building on this addition to my house, to my like stone house.
For my future bride.
For my future bride. I'm not ready to ask her to marry me yet because I'm still trying to get my house in order, literally and figuratively. And he takes him out there and basically is going to show off how he shoots.
Yeah,
he shoots very well.
He needs to prove how manly a man he is.
Exactly.
And she's my girl and don't mess with me.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Because I can defend myself and I can defend my
my
girl.
woman.
Right. And he does the whole thing with the paint cans, which I thought was funny.
This was a great scene. He's painting the house, and he tells the guy who works for him, okay, get me some paint buckets.
Yeah.
And he makes Jimmy Stewart put them up on the fence.
Yeah.
And he starts shooting him while he's under it. So he
Right.
splatters him with paint. Which, of course, prompts Jimmy Stewart to punch him in the face.
That was amazing.
He doesn't react at all. He doesn't
Yeah.
even hesitate. He just goes and he does it. Because, again, he has his own way of doing it, but he is not a fool, and he will not suffer ill treatment. He doesn't like surprises, he says.
Right.
And he's like,
Just goes up and cold cocks
yeah,
him.
don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
And he punches him in the face.
And he's on the ground. Like, think about this. When's the last time you saw John Wayne get punched out?
By anyone, let
By
alone
anyone.
somebody like James Stewart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit dumbstruck, and he's like a little bit impressed.
Uh-huh.
Even later he references, yeah, he's got a great right hook.
It's that mutual respect thing.
Yeah.
I don't have to like you, but god damn it, do I respect you.
So you come from a different kind of a thing. All right, you're cool, basically.
And the whole movie, we just see him kind of insulting him. Like, Tom spends the majority of this movie undercutting him and telling him he's a schmuck and he doesn't know how things are and you should just go ahead and go back home and leave town because Liberty Valance is going to get you one of these days.
Well, yeah, but
you're going to have a hard time if you stay.
I feel like he wasn't as actively trying to do that. He's just kind of hovering around him while he's doing his level best to do his best. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be good enough because he doesn't have any confidence in a guy like Ransom to be able to succeed at what he's trying to do.
No, he has watched him flounder since day one.
Yeah.
The first day he's there, he gets his ass kicked.
But you know what? By the end of the movie, the entire town, and in this case, the entire state, warms up to the idea, hey, this kind of guy is actually what we want.
Yeah, the town, after a little while, says, you know what? We're going to nominate him for the convention.
The territorial convention.
They're deciding if they're going to be a state.
Yeah, there's a push to get this territory. Again, they never call it Colorado.
Because it wouldn't be called Colorado. It's just the Colorado Territory, I assume. I don't even know what it was called
I don't know
back
what
then.
it was called. But yeah, they're trying to become a state so that they can get taxes and roads
and the train.
And the train coming through. And the way it is right now, like the train has connected all the way to D.C. Mm-hmm. They even say, he's on a train to go to Jefferson City in Missouri, and then there's an express train to get all the way to D.C.
Yeah, and this is where we are. But the town nominates Ransom to go and represent them and vote for them.
Right.
It's a little confusing. So this happens kind of quickly. So they send these two guys, him and the editor of the local paper, are the ones that ultimately go to this convention where they are trying to figure out statehood. But they don't get there and talk about statehood. They immediately start talking about sending guys to Congress.
Well, I think they've already kind of made the decision at this point, or at least they're going to.
We're going to vote for statehood. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. So this is who we're going to nominate to be our senatorial candidates, I guess.
When we get our poop in a group, as it were.
Yeah.
we'll already have our candidates ready to go. Is that kind of the idea?
I think so.
Okay.
I honestly do not know. Like all the talk about like Puerto Rico and DC becoming states, I don't know how that works. Like, because senators have 6-year terms. Mm-hmm. How do you decide where their term begins? Because you have to elect 2 senators.
I imagine...
And in theory, you're going to be electing them at the same time that you are becoming a state.
Well, they do have... They're not officially senators. They have congressmen? Is that what they have right now?
They have congresspeople, but they do not vote. They do not have a voting privilege.
Well, they probably would have them both start, but one would have like a 2-year term or a 4-year term, and then the other one would have the full 6 years. Or maybe they do 2 and 4. I don't know. We haven't had a new state in a real long time.
Indeed.
And back in the 1870s, we added a new state every like 23 minutes.
Right.
We had a lot of states back then.
Yeah. So in essence here, we're talking about, hey, once we become a state, this is who we want to be to be nominated. So... And now he is not actually being nominated to be a senator here.
No.
Now I'm just thinking about this now. He is only gonna go to DC basically to be the representative of this territory as they're becoming a state. Because
to
at
say
the
we
end,
want to be a state.
yeah. So
vote
at
us
the
in.
at the end of the movie, it is revealed he serves 2 terms as the governor of Colorado. Then he serves 3 terms as senator.
I think it was the other way around. I think he was the governor 3 times.
Yes, I'm sorry, you're right. So 3 terms as governor, 2 terms as senator. Then he gets appointed as ambassador to the UK.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
They say the Court of St. James.
The Court of St. James is Britain, Great Britain.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a term I don't hear often.
Yes.
And then they elect him a senator again.
And then he becomes a senator again
introduced-
after he's the ambassador.
Yeah, he's introduced as senator at
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of is reluctant this entire time. Like, for a guy who, when he shows up, is sort of told you can't do it your way, they quickly realize he has some benefits, and that is you need to be in charge.
Yeah.
Because we need people like you in charge.
Right.
And he just sort of goes along with it. Like, he nominated somebody else to go to this
Sure.
convention.
Sure.
And everybody else keeps nominating him. And then he gets there and he's like, the hell I will.
Well, and he's the only person that is actually going to stand up to Liberty Valance. He's the only one. Because everybody else just kind of falls in line and gets out of the way of Liberty Valance and his crew.
Yeah,
he,
and
he shows up in, like, we were skipping a whole lot of scenes here,
it's
but
fine.
it's fine. But yeah, he shows up to the restaurant one night and he's causing hell and like stealing food, stealing drinks out of people's hands,
Threatening.
and people are just saying, "Okay, Liberty, whatever you want."
Yep, that looks like a good steak. I think
Yeah.
me and my boys want to eat those steaks, and you
Right.
guys can eat later.
Right.
And they go, "Oh, you're right. We're gonna go back to the saloon." Bye.
Right.
And you know, he sees Jimmy Stewart's character, and he trips him. And there's this
Yeah.
whole scene of like, so it's Liberty Valance, Tom, and Ransom,
Yeah.
and it's a whole lot of. You tripped me. Well, pick that steak up. No, you pick it up. No,
Right.
you pick it up.
Kind of a silly thing.
And then finally, Jimmy Stewart is just like, screw
Oh,
it.
hell.
Yeah,
This
I'll
is-
do it.
Who cares about a steak? It's just a steak.
Yeah, you're willing to die over a
Right.
piece of meat.
Right, and he's just like putting his finger on what you're doing here. What the fuck are you doing? You're gonna die, or you're going to risk your life over this fucking steak.
At least get shot
Right.
over a piece of meat.
Right. Come on.
That is how hot-headed all these motherfuckers are.
Right, and it's like shining a light on the Old West. Like, this is fucking stupid. What are you doing?
That's real stupid.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is who Liberty Valance is. And then when he shows up on election day, when they're deciding who they're going to send to the convention, he kicks in the door and says, somebody better nominate me.
Right.
So his goons that he brings in nominate and second him, even though he doesn't live in the territory.
Right, he's from the north. He wouldn't have any voting rights
He
anyway.
has no rights, so they finally just
Goddamn carpetbagger.
let him put his name down, and they say origins unknown.
Right, address unknown.
And then when they vote, it's like, who wants to vote for Ransom? And all the hands go up, and everybody's
Right.
excited. Who wants to vote for Liberty Valance? And only his goons
Right.
raise their hands. Not one person. But he even gets up in front of the room and says, you all better vote the way I want you to. You don't want to regret any decisions.
You're all brave when you're in a group, but afterwards, I know who you are, and I'm going to come after you individually.
Yep, but they do it anyway.
Yeah.
And he storms off, and he says, you know, I'm going to meet you in the street tonight, so leave town or I'm going to fuck you up.
Yep.
These are your choices. And that's kind of how we get to the climax of the movie, is he has already threatened he's going to meet Ransom in the street and shoot him down. And Ransom is going to leave town.
Yeah.
Because he kind of feels like he has no other choice in this scenario.
Right. And the other person that was nominated here was the Peabody.
The editor.
The owner and editor of the newspaper in town.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows him. He's very much a drunk. I like the scenes with him because, number one, I'm an aspiring reporter.
You're a literary man.
I've always like romanticized reporters and journalism and things like that. So I like especially the old stuff.
You also just like the written word.
I do.
Like, dialogue is your favorite thing. Like,
It's
you
true.
love a movie with a lot of good dialogue.
And there's a lot of it in this movie, too.
There is.
But I like this character, and I like how he's portrayed here because at this night where he got nominated for this post. He had just gotten drunk at the bar after it opened up. He goes back.
Oh yeah, he keeps saying, "Give me a drink. The
bar's closed."
But not even a beer.
The lawyer said,
"A beer is not
the
to
lawyer
drink."
said for election day the bar has to be closed until after election day.
Not even for me. I'm a newspaper man.
It's just a beer. Beer's not drinking.
And they nominate him because he's like one of the few literate people.
Right.
And they're like, "You're smart and you know words
Well,
good."
and he refuses. He wants to refuse it because I'm this journalist. I can't be shown as a partial thing. I can't be a politician and blah.
I bring politicians down.
Right. But that's the thing. This is not actually a political thing.
No.
It is you advocating for your territory. It is not. You're not representing people.
You're not really a politician so much in this regard because all you're
No.
doing is saying we want to be a state.
In this case,
that's all you're going for.
In this case, all you are is a learned person
and
who
you
can
get to
actually
go vote in for the masses.
Exactly. Anyway, but him in these scenes here, he's back at his newspaper shop. And there's so much good lighting here. These next two scenes.
This is a black and white movie.
It is black and white.
Lighting is so important,
It is.
especially in black and white.
And I can always tell when everything is, natural light as opposed to artificial light. There's a lot of artificial light here, but in these couple of scenes, it's after the vote happens. He goes back to his place. It's all lit up.
He's drunk as a skunk.
He's drunk as hell, so he's gonna go off and get some dinner, I guess. Or he leaves for some reason.
He's out of booze.
That's right. He's out of booze, so he's gonna go over to the shop and get some.
What is he having? Like a little soliloquy to himself.
And to his jug.
He's got a little newspaper print for tomorrow that says, "Liberty Valance defeated. But with too many E's." He's like, "Oh, silly me, must not drink and edit.
I'm out of confidence."
No more confidence.
But alas, I can go and buy some confidence at the local tavern.
And yeah, he blows out the candle.
Yeah, so he blows out his lamp. Yeah, he blows out his lamp, and the light comes all the way down. It's very dark. Mm-hmm. So, and the only light coming through is, I think, probably through the front window.
Yep.
So he leaves, and he comes back a little bit later. He does the exact thing, just in the opposite order. He turns on his lamp, and you can't see anything around him except for the light coming in the window. He turns on his lamp, and there are the three guys.
I just was like,
crew.
"Oh, they're all going to be standing there, aren't they?"
Oh, yeah.
And Liberty Valance is leaning against the desk, the printing press, and he's got the newspaper that says Liberty Valance defeated.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the hell is this? Mm-hmm. Eat it."
Right.
And he shoves it down his throat.
Yeah.
And they kick his ass and they trash the whole place.
And they think he's dead.
They're like, "Oh, he's dead."
Yeah.
And so they leave. But this is enough for Ransom to say, "Well,
enough.
I've had enough.
This is enough.
I'm drawing a line in the
cannot
sand.
do this anymore. I need to do something about this."
Yep. So tell him I'm going to meet him in the street. Mm-hmm. This is happening.
So, yeah, we have the scene of him confronting him, and Liberty is out front just laughing up a storm because he knows that he's not going to get shot by this guy.
No.
He can't shoot anything straight.
No, and that's been a running theme here is that he never held a gun before he came to this town.
Right.
And even though he's been out practicing, he is a lousy shot. He is not a guy who can handle a weapon.
And at nothing in this point in the movie would have told the audience that he would actually shoot straight. But what is shown on screen is, well, number one, Jimmy Stewart getting shot in, like, the crook of the arm.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. You might lose an
gun.
arm after that.
Like the tendon, basically, he gets shot in, which makes him immediately drop his gun.
Right.
But he keeps, like, buckling up his courage and walking forward.
Yeah.
And he tells him, pick up the gun.
Right. And
you got another hand.
Yeah, Liberty says, okay, well, the next one is going to go between your eyes because, hey, Liberty is a good shot himself.
And you see him with his left, he's got, Jimmy Stewart has the gun in his left hand.
He does have his left, yeah.
He does fire the gun.
Yes.
And so you watching this as the viewer assume, well, he did it. He got him right in the gut. Mm-hmm. He's dead. Victory me.
Right, and the entire town knows what's happening because they can see it from the bar. Everybody's watching what's happening. Mm-hmm. And what we don't know is in the shadows.
Across the street.
Across the way, there's Tom. John Wayne, he gets a rifle and he shoots him right when Jimmy Stewart would have actually shot him.
Yep. He made sure he died.
Right.
Yep. And we don't find that until later.
Right.
So when we watch it, I was like, is his gun empty? Like, what exactly happens here?
Because, full disclosure here, this is what we knew about the movie.
Yes.
We knew that the man who shot Liberty Valance was not Jimmy Stewart's character.
It's a twist!
It is a twist.
Sorry, we knew the 60-year-old twist anyway.
Right. Yes, we knew that portion of the movie before going in. Now, I don't think that knowing that made this movie any worse or any better.
No, it's just how do they do it? That's my whole thing about movies where I know the twist is, did they pull it off? How did they accomplish
And they
the
absolutely
twist?
did.
And yeah, they do it well here because I was like, oh, he did shoot him. What?
Right.
I'm confused.
Right. And it wasn't like a pre-planned thing where Tom was going to be backing him up. And just in case that he needed help, he showed up. No, he did it completely. And he didn't even tell Ransom until he's at the convention in Capital City weeks later.
And only because he feels bad about it. Ransom thinks he murdered a guy.
Right.
Ransom has been
and he's
bearing
like,
this weight.
Sulking and like, I can't believe, I don't want to take this on. He's about to leave and go back east.
Yeah, because everybody is like, well, you don't want a murderer.
Right.
You think your version of justice is killing a man, being judged and jury.
But he doesn't want to have that on his conscience, that I don't want to get this nomination and be a politician only because I shot a guy.
Yeah, everybody is making him out to be this big hero. Like when he shows up to the convention, is this the guy? That's the guy, right?
Right.
And he has this reputation before he even arrives. And so that's why they're nominating him, because he's a just man and he's upholding the laws. But everybody else, rightfully so, is like, so his claim to fame is he shot a guy?
Yeah. And by the way, the other guy who was nominating the Buck Langhorne. He was the guy nominating Buck Langhorne. Who is he, Betsy?
That is, I didn't catch his first name, but his last name is Carradine.
Yeah, that is David Carradine's father.
Well, David and who's the other one?
Keith
Carradine.
I've never heard of Keith.
Oh yeah, there's Keith Carradine and David Carradine. I think there might even be another one, but they're all more famous in like the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
And this is their father. Yet another well-known Western character actor.
Right.
He was a lot of character in this. Oh, yes, I am here to nominate this friend of mine.
I've got this prepared speech, but I have nothing for oratory. And he throws the piece of paper out on the ground.
He crumples it up and throws it.
And then someone picks it up and it's just a blank piece of paper.
Oh, you didn't prepare this, did you? And yeah, he like says the name and then a dude on a horse runs in and it's just like, who's this dude?
That goes on for a long time,
It goes on too long. It's very silly. It gets to the point where it's like, this is absurd. Anyway, we're jumping ahead again, but after Liberty goes down, they call the town doctor another drunk.
Yep.
They keep having to fetch him from the saloon, and he wears an obscenely tall top hat.
It was the time.
And like, he runs up to Liberty Valance and he like kicks him and he rolls on his back and he's like, he's dead. And then he takes a swig of whiskey and like leaves.
No, he says, whiskey, right away.
Yep.
And he takes a big swig of whiskey, and then he kicks him and he's dead.
Yeah, they don't care. So you brought up an interesting point, and I'd like you to tell this story. So you kind of said early in the movie, everybody in this area knows Liberty Valance. They know he's bad, and nobody is going to do anything about it. Yeah. And you made a comparison that I think is apt for our conversation.
Yeah, there's a book that was that came out in the 80s. It's called In Broad Daylight. Mm-hmm. This is not a book that I've read, but I've heard tell about it a few times. It is a book about a rural town in Kansas. I believe it's in Kansas or Missouri.
Okay.
One of those places. And there's this, it's a true story. There is a guy who is just like a fucking asshole.
A piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. He roughs up people that he doesn't know. He is just a town nuisance. Mm-hmm. Everybody hates him. The cops don't want to do anything about him because he would just try to do the same thing to them. And it's a very, very similar kind of a thing. And all of a sudden, one day, the town comes together and kills this guy.
Yeah, they kind of corner him
Yep.
and shoot him to hell.
Shoot him dead.
Like 20 people.
Yeah, and the entire
in
town.
the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's what they call it, in broad daylight. And no one gets caught for it. Because
No one's talking.
no one talks. There's no witnesses. Why would anybody be sad about this guy being dead?
Yeah, there's so many witnesses, but they were also the murderers.
Exactly.
And they're all just like, yeah.
It is a true story.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah, and they were just like, well, it's done now.
Yeah.
He's gone.
So yeah, this entire movie was very much reminding me of that story, of this fucking guy who ransacks everything. He does not answer to any kind of lawman, and the lawmen there are incompetent. So they're not going to do anything about it. So guess what? You take the matter in your own hands and you take care of it.
Yeah, so when Tom finally comes clean to him, like we get this whole sequence, first of all, after the showdown and James Stewart gets shot, Hallie is taking care of him and is like holding him and is like, I didn't want you to die. So clearly she's got the hots for him. She's in love with him. And Tom comes in and sees this. And of course, up to this point, that's my girl.
Right.
But she chose him.
Yeah.
And so Tom goes on a little bit of a drunken rampage.
He goes on a bender.
He goes on a bender.
This is after Liberty gets shot and killed.
But we don't know that he did it yet.
And his crew goes into the tavern where everybody else was and is like, we need to string up Ransom because he shot him in cold blood. That was murder. And Tom knows the real truth. He goes in there and is like, get the fuck out of here, throw him out.
No one cares.
Marshall, get them the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Because the Marshal's not afraid of those two fuckers.
No, they're just the peons
Yeah.
that always hang out with the bully. That's who they are.
Exactly. So they get thrown out, and yeah, Tom just goes on a bender. He is drunk as hell. And I remarked on this when we were watching the movie. I don't think I've ever seen, of all the John Wayne stuff I've seen, I don't think I've ever seen John Wayne like sloppy drunk.
Yeah, he's falling down.
He's falling down. He gets brought back to his place, and he runs in, and he's all upset. He lights up his lamp, and he is reminded he sees the addition on the house that he built for his blushing bride whenever that was going to happen.
Whenever he got around to it.
So he gets upset, and he throws the lamp and the oil in there, and the whole thing goes up in flames.
He burns down his own
And
house.
holy shit, was this, like, that's real, guys.
Yeah,
like,
it's 1962. There's only one way to do that, and it's
right.
to burn down
you
the
gotta
house.
burn the fucker down.
Yeah.
So, and he is inside. He's really inside.
Yeah, that's very much John Wayne being carried out. Now, he's on
Right.
the left, but there was still smoke and stuff in
Sure.
there.
That's dangerous.
That was real dangerous. They also, I think, didn't take as much care to do some of those stunts back in the day.
Sure.
It took a lot of stuntmen having horrible accidents and deaths before they finally put some more precautions in place.
Sure.
Hey, maybe let's not set the main actor in the building that's on fire. It's a thought.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we've talked before about like Tom Cruise doing his own stunts. He still
Right.
doesn't do all of them, guys. You still leave it to the professionals when you have to put somebody in a burning building.
Right. But even still, these days, a burning building can be done in CG. It
true.
still looks pretty good these days.
It's true. And, you know, like, you can tell, like, only the right half of that building is on fire,
Sure.
and the left half is smoke.
There's absolutely safety guards in there, I'm sure.
Yes.
Like that house was built from stone, and then the add-on was all wood. Well, guess what, guys? Wood burns very, very well.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh, Trent. Yeah, and so this is what we see him going through, and he drags his ass all the way up to the convention, and just when Jimmy Stewart is about to call it a day and say, I'm going home, I'm going back east, I don't
Yeah.
belong here,
Right.
that's when he says, do you really think
That
you
you
shot
shot
him?
him? Yeah.
'Cause you didn't. Let me tell you, facts are facts.
Uh-huh.
And this is what really happened.
And he does that, and he says, you know what? Hallie's your girl now. I want her to be happy. You can make her happy, because clearly she's happy with you.
Well, and even Ransom says, but that's murder. And he's like, I'm okay with that.
Right, I can have that on my conscience.
Because you know
I don't
what?
care.
She wanted you alive.
Yes,
And so for her,
I helped her out.
I helped her out.
I did this for her, not for you.
Well, and let's talk about Hallie for a moment.
All right.
So he spends this whole movie flirting with her and giving her flowers and telling her she's beautiful.
Sure.
So he is not exactly subtle about how he feels about her.
Yep.
But he doesn't make a move, and that's on him. But Hallie also has a funny tendency of going to him immediately for help every single time Ransom's in trouble, which is a shitty way to treat people and lead them on. Like, go get Tom. Ransom's in trouble. Look, that's what he is to you. He's the big man who can help you out. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. And you wonder why he's upset when she chooses someone else. He's kind of justified. Like, it's on him for not making a move sooner.
Sure.
He could have married her a year ago.
They clearly had a relationship prior to this.
They're certainly friends. Like, great, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, she spends a lot of time running around asking him for help. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not cool with it. It's not cool. You shouldn't treat people like that.
Yeah.
Don't lead people on. He's not here to be used. And that's the whole crux of it is he does it for her because she wanted, like, he loves this shit. Like, she shouldn't do it, but he also kind of loves it. Like, I did it for her. I killed a man in cold blood.
Yeah.
Because she wanted me to.
And he was even talking about that, oh yeah, the Liberty guys were over here and, you know, a couple of his guys weren't so lucky, implying that he killed them. Back when he interrupted the school session.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really talked about that whole thing. So Ransom gets 3 jobs within like days of him showing up there.
Well, sure.
He becomes the dishwasher at the restaurant. He becomes a reporter for the newspaper, and then in the next room in the news and the same building, he is running a class teaching not only English but American history.
Yep, he's opened a little school for anyone who wants to learn, adults and children.
And American civics. Like, he's actually teaching how, like, governments work and the history of how our laws are made and things like that. And, you know, that's important.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't get as much of that as I should have. I think we need more of that.
Civics.
One
of my favorite classes in high school was civics.
God, you're a nerd. I love you.
Yeah.
You're like, talk politics to me.
It's not even politics. It's just how things work. I took, when I was a senior in high school, I took 2 AP classes. APs are the
smarty
advanced,
classes.
The advanced
You a
smarty
smarty
pants.
boy.
Smarty pants. I took 2 AP classes. And at the end of it, you have to take an AP test, and the test usually converts into college credit. And you got to pay for that shit. Anyway, so I took 2 AP classes. One of them was AP Government, and the other one was AP Calculus. I expected, when I took my 2 AP classes, I was going to pass with flying colors my government test and fail the calculus. It was just the opposite. I did not pass my government test.
You failed government?
I failed the government class.
No, Trent, no.
But you know what? That was just the extra push I got from myself to learn more.
Fair enough. Yeah, and the movie ends, we're back in the future where he's gone on to have this long and happy career in government.
And we didn't mention that he's in line to possibly be picked for being a vice president.
Yeah, he's basically the shoo-in for the next VP position.
Right. And
the newspaper man says, that's a great story. And he immediately starts tearing up his notes and throws them into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like, well, why don't you want to print that? That's a great story, is it not? But then the newspaper man says the most famous line from this movie.
This is the West.
This is the West. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. Mm-hmm. And I think about that line all the time.
That's the entirety. That is a single line that you could use to sum up the Wild West.
Yeah.
How many legends do you know about, Buffalo Bill?
You don't want to
Annie
know.
Oakley?
You don't want to know the truth about these guys.
No.
They could be just complete and utter trash. The story could be absolute fiction. It could be just passed down by people. But you know what? That's how rumors start.
Well, we have it even around here. Like Jesse James jumped the gulch in Garrettson, so not far from where we live.
Yeah.
He jumped an entire ravine. Right. And I have been to this ravine. It cannot be done.
But yeah,
it's like 20 feet. It didn't happen.
This air of like this legendary status that we put on people that are from the West, quote unquote.
Everyone had a story.
Yeah. Like Wild Bill, you said, and Davy Crockett, and yeah, all these like these stories that get told. I would say 80% of what was written about these people are fucking fake.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So,
but it's a great story.
It's a great story to inspire people to come out to the West, and you too could be one of these guys and go down in history.
You might even get a sweet song. Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee.
Exactly.
Shot him a bear when he was only 3.
Right.
You know, Davy Crockett shooting bears at 3 years old. Exactly. That happened, right?
Right. And fuck, man, it's really sad to really think about that stuff. And like, you know, think about this. We went to Boston and took a tour of John Adams' estate. John Adams being the second president of the United States. Everybody knows about John Adams being a president, but what they don't know, and they also know the Boston Massacre. You all learned in your textbooks in school about the Boston Massacre. Mm-hmm. What you don't know about it is what happened afterwards. You think, oh, the Boston Massacre, all these guys got killed, or the shooters all got hung or put in jail or whatever. No. John Adams defended these guys.
The British.
Defended the British soldiers who shot the people in the Boston Massacre, got them acquitted.
Because he kind of discovered through the law and the practice of the law that the crowd basically was throwing shit at them and it was self-defense.
Right. And it's all of these little stories that you get the headline, you don't get the context.
Nope.
That's why I like journalism. That's why I like history and getting down into the nitty gritty.
Or like talking about Napoleon. How Napoleon was this little man.
No.
He was an above average height individual.
He was about average, yeah, maybe like an inch shorter.
But you know, a good way to make people think, well, he's a piece of shit is to demean him.
Or to belittle him.
To belittle him, yes.
Yeah.
Literally, belittle him.
Yes. That's where that comes from, guys.
What?
No, it doesn't.
I don't know.
All right, well, any other thoughts about the man who shot Liberty Valance, Betsy?
No, but I was kind of trying to watch it with that information you said earlier about like Steven Spielberg found a lot of inspiration in John Ford movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a couple of really modern looking shots in this movie. So like when the scene where Liberty Valance trips Ransom, there's one shot where Ransom's standing way in the back, and then Tom is a little in front of him, and then Liberty Valance is really close to the camera.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of in focus, and they're framed in this really dramatic way. And it's like, that's a really modern type of shot.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And then, you know, like you said, all the things with the shadows and the focus. Like, you didn't need to make this movie in black and white. It was 1962. This easily could have been a movie in color.
Yeah.
But they did it really strategically for certain movies because, number one, it kind of implies the Old West, like make it black and white. It makes it feel older.
They should have done the Wizard of Oz thing where
the
present day is in color. Yeah, the present day is in color and the past is in black and white.
Reverse Wizard of Oz.
That would have been better. Yeah.
I would have been interested in that. Like, that was cool. Yeah, there was just a lot of things when he is in the shadows during the final confrontation with Liberty Valance, and Liberty's yelling at him, get out of that shadow, and he's very slowly walking forward until you can see his face come into focus. There was a lot of that was really well done, and it was interesting. And just like the musical cues, there's a lot of tropes again where there's a lot of talking and there's music playing, and then the door kicks open and the bad guy comes in and silence. Everybody stops talking.
Yeah.
But when he leaves, you hear the jaunty piano at the saloon across the street. It's like become a cliche, but that is how it's worked out now.
Speaking of kicking a door in, there's just a couple of little minor things that we skipped over. When they're at the convention, Tom comes in and he goes through the doors. I think maybe even the door was open.
The doors were propped open.
Yeah, and he like goes to slam the doors behind him, but they're on swingers.
They're swinging doors.
Swinging doors.
So there were just little moments of humor and levity stuck in there.
When Ransom shows up all beaten to hell at the restaurant, the Swedes are all taking care of him, and she goes up to the top shelf, brings a pot down, and inside the pot is a bottle of brandy.
Good Swedish brandy.
Swedish brandy. It's just a great visual gag.
And like they pour some in the coffee and then pour some more and then just pour just a little more. You drink this, it's good for you.
It's coffee, you need to drink this.
And of course, he doesn't know what's in it. He just assumes it's coffee.
I don't care for that.
He kind of reacts and goes, good coffee. Like, imagine anytime you're being handed what you think is coffee and there's alcohol in it. That's the kind of reaction you'd have.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of cute little funny moments, a good balance.
Yeah, and the final thing in the movie is one last line. He's on the train to go home, and I guess the attendant there is like treating him really, really well, and like giving him a brand new spittoon and whatever. And he lights a cigarette and says, "Well, I'm gonna write a letter and say this is the best train I've ever been on." And the attendant says, "Well, anything for the man who shot Liberty Valance."
That's the name of the movie.
That's the name of the movie. But yeah, he's even to that day, he still has that shame.
Well, that was another thing I was going to bring up, was when he first shows up, he's very big in his personality. When he gets off the train, he's like, "Hello, fellow citizens, blah, 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 blah,
He's being a
blah."
politician.
And the whole time he's telling the story, he's very like meek and quiet.
Yeah.
And on the train, as they're riding back to DC, talking to his wife, he's still very quiet. And he's like, "I was thinking maybe we would retire,
right,
and come back
Let's quit and let's come back and retire
But
here."
when the train attendant comes, he's like, "Oh, the finest train I've been on." And the second he says it, like he's lighting his pipe, and he says, "The man who shot Liberty Valance," and he just it washes off of his face.
He deflates.
He deflates.
Yeah.
And yet that's the end of the movie. Like him just being very introspective with his wife.
Yeah.
And they both know the truth. And then it's just end of movie. Fade to black.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
This is a great movie. I get it. I get it.
I'm very glad that this turned out to be as good as it was.
Absolutely.
Because there's some westerns out there.
There's some stinkers, I bet, out there.
Oh boy.
They're problematic, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, anytime Native Americans are depicted on screen and they're a white dude.
Or no, even in this movie, they were talked about. A certain NFL team's name that is no longer used was used in this.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. I missed it completely.
Anyway, let's not bring everybody down.
Let's end this on a higher note. Let's read an email.
Let's read an email from Stephanie. We got one about Gladiator. You know, another Western.
Sure-ish.
All right.
Russell Crowe's done Westerns.
He has. 310 to Yuma, I understand, is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is a remake.
You know who else is in that movie?
What?
Christian Bale.
Okay. Gladiator.
Those two were in the movies we just watched.
All right. I have only ever seen this once. Maybe I should revisit it. This is definitely one that I only remember the big moments. From what I remember, it is beautifully shot and well acted, but definitely an epic. I always remember listening to the Buffy the Vampire Slayer commentary, way out of left field, for the final season, and they talk about just how excited everyone was to feed off of the enthusiasm for epics from Lord of the Rings. Gladiator was from 2000, Lord of the Rings was 01 to 03, and the final season of Buffy was 02 to 03. Not sure they're all connected, but I love Buffy, so...
I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Nor have I.
Sorry, Stephanie.
No. I also watched The Patriot when it came out in the theater with my dad. It is so good, despite the Mel Gibson of it all. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And we didn't know. It was 1999, 2000. We didn't know.
We should have known.
We should have known.
We should have known. Anyway. Oh boy, I'm gonna get put on blast here for what I said about Harry Potter stuff, so just
stand by.
Just prepare for this. Trent, I want to fight you for not liking Harry Potter. And she has 4 points here.
Okay.
Number 1, don't call us potheads. You told me that I shouldn't say it. I didn't care. No, I apologize. I mean no offense. This is for the content, guys.
It's good humor, good fun.
Exactly. I did not hate Harry Potter. It's just I don't understand.
You missed
why
the boat. It's not for you.
It's not for me. But again, the one thing I would say about Harry Potter, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the adults who are running that school should be put in jail for all of the danger that they put these kids in.
Negligence. Gross negligence on all counts.
I don't care that they're little tiny wizards. They're stupid little children. All right, number 2. I don't think they will make a Harry Potter series because they just keep expanding the world with the Fantastic Beasts movies and Cursed Child play. Is that a Harry Potter play?
Yeah, it's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It's a 2-part Broadway play.
Is that what she wrote, or is somebody just...
Yeah, J.K. wrote it.
She did? Okay.
I think so.
Whatever.
Or she did the bulk of it and somebody else tuned it for stage.
Whatever. Number 3, if they did make a series, I would absolutely watch it. Which, of course you would watch it.
Of course you would.
But my question is, do you think that they would actually do it justice?
I think in our lifetimes, I'm not saying they're going to do it now. I'm saying maybe in another 20 years.
Yeah.
I believe they'll do it, but that's just me.
I agree with you that they will probably do it. But again, will they do it justice? Like, they're going to put out a fucking TV show, Lord of the Rings.
It's a prequel, though. That's a little different.
They're going to do a big-ass prequel of the Game of Thrones stuff. Not really based on a whole lot of, original content. It just seems like a cash-in to me.
Well, it's absolutely a cash-in, dummy.
Anyway, the final point. Harry Potter Week is from July 24th through the 31st. I watch 1 movie per day.
Yes, she does.
Love you guys from Superfan Stephanie.
I've been invited to this event many times, but, as we previously established, it's not for me either, so I have not attended.
No. Nor will I.
But you too, friends, can email us like Stephanie. If you want to send us a message, you can do so at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, neverseenit_pod. We also got a Facebook and an Instagram page.
Brand new.
Well, fairly new anyway. And it's neverseenitpod1. That's the number 1 on both of those. You can also support us by clicking the link in the podcast description. You can rate us on iTunes and other services, or just share us with your friends. The whole point of this podcast is we do a diverse amount of selections.
Yeah.
So we don't expect you to listen to all of these things. So find one you like and share it. Or if you know someone who would like it, share that one.
Yeah.
Those things.
Help us make this podcast grow. Yes, that is going to be the end of this episode. Betsy, I want to make a little bit of an announcement here as well.
Uh-oh.
We just started this series, but our next episode will be the start of yet another series.
Because as we said, this is Western Wednesdays.
Western Wednesday.
But we've still got episodes on Sundays.
We have episodes on Sundays, and we have 5 movies lined up for our next series. If you enjoyed our Keanu-thon last year, you're going to love this one.
It may be piquing your interest.
And that's all we're going to say about that one so far.
Teaser!
But our next episode will be the first of a 5-part series about another actor. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. This has been another episode of Never Seen It. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we will catch you next time.
Bye!